Welcome back to the online classes of physics. This is your Naimam is back again with the topic that is gravitation. We have learned what is gravitation, isn't it? So now we will learn the universal law of gravitation. So according to Newton, what did he say? What did Isaac Newton say? Every other object attracts with a force which is directly proportional to the product of their masses. Okay. And the square root of the distance between them. Okay, what was that? See, once while I was sitting under the tree, he was thinking of the apple falling onto the ground. Yes, then he was thinking of the this force. Then that what it came in his mind was this gravitation force, isn't it? This apple, when it was falling down, it came into his mind when it was falling onto the earth. He came into the he came into the with this idea that how does this happen, how does the apple fall onto the ground, isn't it? Newton even know the movement of, that is motion of the moon around the earth is approximately uniform circular motion, what we have learnt in our previous session, that is previous video. So certain net force which we call centripetal force is required to maintain the uniform circular motion. We have even learned uniform circular motion, which was AC is equal to V square by R, isn't it? What it was? AC is equal to V square by R. This we have learned in our previous class in the acceleration, isn't it? Acceleration of the uniform circular motion, we have learned about this, isn't it? So what he said was something force. What was that force? What was the force that we that was affecting FC is equal to? So Fc was nothing but mass into acceleration. So that on substitution AC, that is acceleration of circular motion, that is we submitted here and we got mv square by r, isn't it? So this was the centripetal force which we acquired, isn't it? Then what he said, centripetal force is very important. It plays a major role in the circular motion of the uniform circular motion, isn't it? So he introduced the idea of force of attraction between the moon and the earth. Okay, he proposed that earth attracts moon towards itself based on the gravitational force. This gravitational force as a centripetal force and makes the moon revolves around the earth in the uniform circular motion, which we have learnt in our previous video. Now Newton knew the following data, that was the distance of the moon from the center of the earth is. So he was knowing about the distance of moon from the center of the earth was 384400 kilometers. Okay, 33,84,400 kilometers, which we convert into centimeters, it will be 3.844 into 10 to the power 10 centimeters. Then moon takes 27.3 days or 2.35 into 10 to the power 6 seconds to take one revolution around the earth. So what must be the speed of the moon? Okay, at what speed the moon was revolving around the earth? So with this you can calculate using the equation v is equal to 2 pi r by t. Okay, 2 pi r by t. That's the acceleration of the moon towards the center of the earth. We can tell the a m, acceleration of the moon towards the center of the earth. So acceleration of moon is equal to v square by r. So what was the acceleration formula we got? Equation, that was v square by r. So after substituting the value of v, that is 2 pi r by t square, what we will get the answer? Let us find out. So that is nothing but 4, that is 2 2s are 4 pi square. Okay, then r square by t into, that is t square into r. So 1 r, this r gets cancelled and you will get 4 pi square r by t square. Okay, this will be the value. Now substitute the value of r and t in the above equation. Okay, in this equation we are going to substitute the values which we got, that is 3.844 into 10 to the power 10, and revolution was r is equal to 2.38 into 10 to the power 6, and the value what we are going to get, that is am is equal to, we will get 0.27 centimeters per second square. Okay, so Galileo found that the acceleration of the body acquired near the surface of the earth is equal to 981 centimeter per second square. So this acceleration of an apple approximately is equal to 900 of apple, you can say acceleration of apple is equal to 981 centimeters per second square. This will be your acceleration for apple. Okay, acceleration for apple is 981 centimeters per second square. So Newton's knew the radius of the earth r e and the distance of the moon from the center of the earth r m, and then he again calculated. What he did, he divided this radius of the earth by distance of the moon from the center of the earth, that is rm by re. So here we can see that the radius of earth, that is which is equal to 6371 kilometers, and the distance from the moon to earth, the center of the earth, is 384,400 kilometers. So when we are dividing this both rm by re, you are getting the value of 60.3 kilometers. Okay, you are getting 60.3 kilometers, wherein if you are taking a square root of this, you will get 3640 kilometers. Okay, then if you take the acceleration, then which is equal to, if that is ae, acceleration of earth by acceleration of moon, is equal to the square root of rm by re. If you write it in short, you can say that a is proportional to 1 by r square. Okay, for that we can say the centripetal force is directly proportional to 1 by r, sorry, centripetal force is inversely proportional to r square. Okay, this is the formula. F is proportional to 1 by r square, that is, you can even say F is inversely proportional to r square. Thus it became clear that the force of gravity decreases with increase in distance. So force of gravity, that is a gravitational force, decreases with increase in the distance. See, for example, you are having two, suppose you have these two chalk pieces, or you can say even pens, whatever you are keeping side by side. Okay, and this is having some gravitational force, these both are having some gravitational force. Okay, but if you say that okay miss, there is a gravitational force between these two, but then why they are not moving? Okay, why they are not moving? These two are not moving because these have the gravitational force, but they have some their force of attraction is less. Okay, they have the force of attraction less. What I said, there is an increase in there is a decrease in the gravitational force, there is a decrease in the gravitational force, decrease in the gravitational force, where there is increase in the distance, between the objects. Okay, distance between the objects. So with this you can say that according to the Newton's third law, the force on the apple was by the earth is equal to the force on the apple by the apple on the earth by the apple. According to Newton's third law, the force on the apple by the earth is equal to the force on the earth by the apple. Okay, so we get the force on an object by the earth by using the second law of motion. That is what he said in his second law. He said that the mass into acceleration, F is equal to mass into acceleration, isn't it? So where we got the equation A is inversely proportional to 1 by R, isn't it? F is equal to M into A, MA, right? Mass into acceleration, where A is inversely proportional to R square, isn't it? A is inversely proportional to R square. So what we are doing, we are removing this proportionality constant and writing it as k by r square. This is nothing but proportionality constant. Thus we get F is equal to m into k by r square. Okay, k is equal, F is equal to m k by r square. Therefore the force applied on the apple by the earth will be on the apple by the earth will be km by r square. Okay, whatever force, that's this only, it's nothing but this only. I'm just writing k here and m here, that's it, no change. So whatever force is applied by the earth on the apple will be km by r square, whereas m is the mass of the apple and r is the radius of the earth. Similarly, like what we have done, like radius of the radius of the moon, radius of the earth and the distance between the moon and the center of the earth. Similarly, here what we are doing, we are saying the we are taking in place of earth and moon, we are taking earth and apple. So here we can say the force applied by the earth on the apple is km by r square. Okay, now force on earth by the apple. Now this was the earth on apple, we are saying the apple on the earth. It will be taken as capital K and capital M by r square. Okay, because radius is going to be the same only, distance. Okay, where m is the mass of the earth here. This m was the mass of the apple, isn't it? Mass of apple. Don't get confused, children. If you did not understand, please go again, revise the video and see. Okay, and here this m is the mass of earth. Okay, here km by r square, you see that this is the mass of apple, and here you see that this m km by r square, m is the mass of the earth. Okay, now from this forces are equal in magnitude only. So when the following conditions is satisfied, that is k is equal to gm and k dash is equal to gm, then g is a constant, gravitational constant. So what we have done, we have taken gm, that is here this is the mass of the earth and here m is the mass of the apple, isn't it? So here we can say this g is nothing but the gravitational constant, and it is having its own value that we will come to know in further this one class. So from this equation we can tell that we have an force on the apple by the earth which is equal to F is equal to g m, this m by r square. Okay, have you got it? G m into m, okay, by r square. We are just taking force is equal to g m, g we are taking as constant, okay, because it is a gravitational constant, and m, capital M, small m, the mass of the earth and mass of the apple by r square, radius square. Okay, thus we come to know that gravitational force between the masses is directly proportional to the product of their masses. Force of attraction is directly proportional to m1 and m2, isn't it? Force of attraction is directly proportional to mass 1 and mass 2, that is a mass of first object and mass of second object, and force is inversely proportional to the radius. Okay, force is directly proportional to the m1 and m2, and force is inversely proportional to the radius of the object. So Newton generalized the force of gravitation and said it acts between any two bodies in the universe, isn't it? Any two bodies are having this force of attraction between them. Maybe they have some lesser or some may have more. The universal law of gravitation states that every body in the universe attracts the other body with a force which is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. The direction of the force of attraction along the joining of the centers of the two bodies is seen. Okay. For example, as I said, if I'm keeping two pens, I said, isn't it? Two pens are there. Suppose first pen we will take mass as m1 and second pen we will take mass as m2. So whatever this is distance, this is the distance between two. We are taking it as d. Okay, so as we said, the two bodies m1 and m2 will be separated by the distance d. Then the force of gravitation will be, what we got the formula here, m1 m2 by d square. Okay, m1 m2 by d square. This is the formula. This is very important, children. Somewhere, in some conditions it's also written as m1 m2 by r square. Then that is also not wrong. That is, you can write it as this: f is equal to g m1 m2 r square. Okay, this way you can write it as m1 m2 also, doesn't matter, you can write, because this is very important. They will ask you in the exam based on this equation only, formula only: f is equal to g m1 m2 by r square. Okay, so if you write like this also doesn't matter, but remember it is mass of one object and mass of two objects. This is mass of the earth, this is mass of the moon, isn't it? We are taking it like this. If suppose we take it as mass one object, second object, then we will write it as g m1 m2 by r square. Okay, so this is the very important one. And g also has its own value. Its SI unit is given as newtons meter square per kg square. So the G is given by, this is called as universal gravitational force. It is denoted by G, and the value of this is 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11, and its SI units are Newton meter square by or you can even write it as Newton meter square kg per kg square. Okay, Newton meter square per kg square. Okay, this is very important. Do remember the formula, F is equal to g m1 m2 by d square, or you can write it as r square also, doesn't matter, because r is also there measured as distance only, and here d also is also distance. In some books it is given as g m1 m2 by r square, and in some books it is given as g m1 m2 by d square. So it doesn't matter, you can take it like that also. Now we'll go with the importance. What is the importance of this universal law of gravitation? So it was able to successfully explain the force that binds us to the earth, that is nothing but gravitational force, and even motion of moon around the earth involves gravitational force. They were successfully able to explain this, and motion of planets around the sun, they were able to explain that also, and tides due to the sun and the moon caused by onto the earth, that were also explained very perfectly and by the gravitational law. Okay, so till this we have been explaining only regarding the universal law of gravitation. Further we will learn about the gravitation. It's not the end up of the gravitation lesson, this is just the end up of the universal law of gravitation. In the next class we will learn about the furthermore most topics of the gravitation. Until then, wait for the next class and try to understand the topic. Go to the video twice and thrice so that you can understand what are the topics are. Okay, until then, take care. Thanks for watching.